how can you use your ETH to airdrop farm and earn additional yield? Well, there's a few different ways that you can do this, and I'm going to cover that right now in this episode. So the starting point is if you hold ETH, at this point, you want to be holding a staked derivative of ETH, okay? An LSD or LST, whatever you want to call it. Meaning you want to hold STETH or you want to hold RETH, okay? These are staked versions of ETH, and basically all it is again, same as Solana, you're staking your ETH, you're giving your ETH to a validator in a smart contract, and they're going to use that ETH to run a validator, and they're going to give the rewards back to you. On Ethereum, you can earn about 4% in staked ETH derivatives, somewhere around there. It's 3.8, 3.9, depends on how many people are staking. Is lower than Solana, but that's because Solana has a lot more inflation, but it's much less risky. And then not to mention Ethereum is deflationary. It's not actually inflating at all when you take into account the burn. So you want to start by putting all of your ETH, I would recommend, or most of your ETH into these LSTs. If you want to stop there, that's fine. At least you're earning your 4-ish%. But if you now want to then use that to farm additional airdrops, here's some easy things that you can do right away. And again, this will not take you long. The first one I would start with is Manta. Now, understand that Manta network is a layer 2 that has native yield. So when you bridge your ETH to Manta into this layer 2, it converts your ETH into something called Stone. And what that does is it gives you yield. So you'll get your 4% right off the bat. That's all you have to do. All you got to do is bridge your ETH and it does it all for you. Now, two things to note about Manta. One, it's a newer L2, so just be aware, but it does have a good backing, a big team. So we hope that the risk is low. Now, the other thing that you want to understand is the deadline to actually bridge ETH over is January 16th. So I'm recording this on the 9th. You'll probably see this on the 10th, unless you've seen it days later. You want to get your ETH on by the 16th. I'm not sure if the snapshot's done and it's over by the 16th or just you can't bridge anymore by then. I'm not sure. So maybe look on Twitter, see what you can find. But if you're watching this on the 10th, do this now, right away. And I think you probably need about 0.25 ETH to like really make this worth it. I don't know that for sure. It could be less, but that's what I would recommend, okay? The last thing you need to know is you will need a code to get on this. My codes are all used up, but I'm going to put in my Discord as soon as I'm done this, see if I can get a bunch of invite codes for you. So again, just look in the links and I'll hopefully have some invite codes for you. If not, just go to the Manta Twitter and they should have some codes in there. There's usually people commenting that have codes that you can use. Shouldn't be too tough to find. You can also go in the Discord. You'll find some if you can't. There's a bit of a cost here to bridge from Ethereum over to Manta. If you are worried about costs, then do this at nighttime. So at nighttime, like Eastern Standard nighttime, because the costs on Ethereum go down much, much lower. You're probably going to pay $20 if you do this. And it could be more, it could be less, just depending on how busy the chain is. And that all you have to do is just bridge over and then you're good to go. That'll allow you to farm the Manta network plus earn 4% APY. The next thing you do if you want to get a little bit more, a boost on your points on Manta, is you can go to Layerbank, so manta.layerbank.finance. And what you can do is you can take your Stone and you can lend that out as well. And when you do that, so if you can find it on here, just go to Bank on the top, scroll down, you're going to go to Stone, and you can just go to Supply. And supply however much you want. I'm not doing that right now, but you can. You can loop it if you want. You'll earn a bit more APY, a little bit more, but there's a little bit more risk there, so I wouldn't recommend that. And then you're basically just clicking supply, and that's all you got to do. You'll earn a little bit more of an airdrop. There's a bit of a boost on the points that you'll get. Now, one of the fun things about Manta is as soon as you put your ETH over, you'll notice you start to get these boxes, and this is like a thing that's happening all the time. You can see a countdown here on the screen. These box pieces will eventually get you boxes, which then you can claim them. When you open them, you'll get a bunch of NFTs. I have a collection here. If you collect all of them, you can combine them to get the big rare one, or sometimes you might claim the rare one itself. And I think the more rare ones you have, the more airdrop you're going to get. You can also buy these on different marketplaces, which they have in the links here. So they're kind of gamifying it, which is kind of cool. They're making some fun there. But again, if you have not done this, you want to do it ASAP, or otherwise you're going to miss out on that one. That's the Manta network. Again, you're using L2. You can then, one thing just to keep in mind is when you use your MetaMask to do this, you will need to add the Manta network to your MetaMask. So just like you have probably Optimism network on it, and you might have Arbitrum, etc., you'll need to add Manta network, and that's where you'll see your assets once you bridge it. Once you sign up, it'll walk you through how to do that, though I can't show you because I've already signed up, but it's pretty straightforward. So again, if you have any issues, you can come in our Discord and we'll help you out, or probably better just go to Mantas. They'll definitely help you out. Okay. The next thing we want to do is talk about restaking. So this idea of restaking, I've talked about a bunch in the podcast. I'll give you a quick summary here. Basically, that is taking your staked ETH, so those liquid staking tokens, whether that's STETH, RETH, et cetera, that I've already talked about, and restaking those through what's called EigenLayer. And what this does is it's taking the validators of Ethereum, which is what you're giving your ETH to, and it's exporting the security that they provide to other protocols. So whether that's other layer 2s, whether that is something like Cosmos that needs better security, they can then tap into Ethereum security and the ETH assets through the validators. And you can do that through restaking. So it's a really new concept. I think it's going to be something really, really big. The good news is you can farm the airdrop of EigenLayer, which is the company that is really spearheading this restaking. I think it's going to be one of the biggest airdrops ever on Ethereum and probably in existence of any ecosystem. It's just a really big deal. And so I really recommend you take advantage of this. Now, EigenLayer is currently paused for uploading or depositing any assets in, but there is a workaround, a way that you can still do it. I'm going to show you that in just a second, but I'll also cover how you can do it once they reopen. They're still very new. They're not even launched mainnet yet. And so that's why they're still paused. And they allowed, I think, about 500 million. Now they're up to 1 billion assets worth, and they'll probably open it up again in the coming, weeks to months. Let's see. They're just trying to do it in a stepwise process for now. Anyway, the first way and the easiest and also the cheapest way to airdrop farm the EigenLayer airdrop, as well as this protocol here called ETH.fi, is through using ETH.fi. So app.ether.fi. Go to the show notes. I have a link in there. I also have a referral, which I recommend you use. And so basically all you're doing, this is very, very simple. You just need to have ETH in your wallet on Ethereum mainnet. You're just going to connect your wallet as normal, okay? And you're going to see a UX that looks pretty much just like Uniswap, right? And all you're going to do is swap some of your ETH, okay, into ETH. So ETH you can think of like an LST, a liquid staking derivative or a liquid staking token, except this is a restaking token, okay? So I know this is a little bit crazy, but this is as simple as all you got to do is simply swap your ETH into this, and all of a sudden you are now farming the ETH.fi airdrop as well as the EigenLayer airdrop, and you're earning not just your 4%, but the restaking APY as well. Now, we don't know what that is yet, but that will come to us as soon as they launch and go mainnet. So if you go to your portfolio here, you can see this. So right now we're earning 3.37%. So the APY is a little bit lower at the moment, and it changes every day. And you can see that there's a TBD on the restaked amounts because we don't know until it goes live. And then you have your points that you're earning on ETH.fi and your points that you're earning on EigenLayer. So you're now earning on both, which is super cool. Also, if you've done certain things in the community, then you can mint these NFTs here and you can get additional points. So look through and see what they are. This one, you just need to verify your email and consent to being sent emails, and you'll get, I think it's like 5,000 points. So might as well go do that. If you've done some other things in the community, you can claim some more as well. So again, might as well do that. Now you can take this a step further, I believe, and wrap your ETH, and you can supply that or put it into pools on Curve and Balancer, etc. I'm not doing this, but you can to get additional rewards. Again, I don't really care to get all this additional stuff, but you can get a boost of 2x, as you can see, by using any of these. You get additional ETH.fi and rewards if you do this. So might be an option for you. One thing to note, don't put all of your ETH in this. I know it's great to get free money and to get these airdrops, but they can be risky, okay? You do not want to put all. You want to put 10, maybe 20% of your ETH into these protocols. And even that, let's say you're doing 20%, take 5%, put it into Manta, 5%, put it into ETH.fi, and split those up. These are new protocols, both EigenLayer and ETH.fi and Manta, and there is potential for smart contract risks. There's potential for, the founders to rug. I don't think these ones will. That's why I'm sharing them with you. But you just never know what will happen. And they also might get hacked. So again, 10, 20%, and put them in a different wallet than your cold wallet. So you should have a wallet of ETH or staked ETH chilling in a ledger or whatever. Leave that. Put this in a different wallet, whether it's another ledger or a different MetaMask, whatever. Separate those wallets though. And this will really make sure that you don't lose all of your ETH. This is great. You can earn some extra APY. You can earn some extra tokens and some good money, but don't mix them together, okay? It's the biggest mistake I see people doing all the time. Okay, what else can we do? There's more you can do with EigenLayer. And again, I believe this is going to be one of the biggest airdrops. So I think you want to pay attention to this and do whatever you can to get access to this. So let me just show you EigenLayer first. So as I said, if you look at the top here, liquid restaking deposits in EigenLayer are currently paused. So you actually can't do this unless you native restake, which is you got to run your own validator. And that's a lot more technical. I'm not going to get into that. At some point, this will increase and you will be able to put it more into this. And so what you can do is if you hold any of these liquid staking tokens, which is Stakewise, Swell, Origin, Lido, Rocket Pool, etc., you'll be able to go put those into EigenLayer and immediately you'll start earning points, as you can see here. Okay, so this is very straightforward. Once you have these, you just come into EigenLayer. The link is in the show notes and you can deposit them. You can't do that right now though. One thing you can do in the meantime, if you'd like, Swell, which is another liquid staking token, similar to that of like Lido and Rocket Pool, but they don't have a token yet. And so what I would say is while you're waiting, you can go and swap your ETH into what's called SWEETH or SW ETH, and you will start farming the Swell airdrop. Now, once EigenLayer opens, you take that SWEETH, you come in here, Swell Staked Ether, click on it, and simply deposit, put the amount, and you can deposit, okay? Now, on the Swell side of things, there's a very minimal fee. It's just like a swap like you would do in Uniswap, so it doesn't cost you a lot to do that. When you go and you deposit it into EigenLayer, there is an additional fee that might be a little bit higher than what a swap would be because you're interacting with a smart contract. So just be aware of that. There will also be a fee to then withdraw it out. So again, be aware of that as well. There are some associated fees with these, but again, likely you're going to get a pretty good airdrop here as well. So just something to keep in mind. So again, with Ethereum, you can put it on Manta, you can use ETH.fi, you can use Swell, and whenever it opens, you'll be able to go and put those on EigenLayer as well. And then for now, since you can't do that, just use ETH.fi because that auto does it for you. And so that still is enabled and you can still get your EigenLayer points from there.